It's a race, but it's also a celebration of a great season. The Ironman Grand National Cross Country season finale. Not only the biggest race of the year, but the most fun. It's the best track with the best dirt and the wildest fans. And the opportunity for an upset winner. The Grand National Cross Country season finale is next.
Are you ready to go GNCC Racing?
There is no other race in the Grand National Cross Country Series like the AMSOIL Ironman GNCC finale from Indiana. Huge turnout of riders, well over 2,000 on hand to try to win this one, and the door is open for an upset. More on that in a minute, but first let's flash back to our previous event. This is the Powerline Park GNCC in St. Clairsville, Ohio. Caleb Russell and Thad Duvall battling as they always do, but this time battling too hard as Duvall finds himself face planted in the first turn. He kept his cool, he was able to get back going and then complete carnage on the very first hill climb. Russell finds himself actually going from first to worst deep in the woods. Stu Baylor running the point position early in the race with Duvall and Russell in the back. Joining Baylor at the front, rookie in the Premier XC1 division, Lane Michael, his best race of the year, the KR4 Husqvarna. But you knew eventually that Duvall and Russell would take their customary places up front. There is Duvall in the pits. He gets passed by Russell, who goes by. They kept pushing hard, but Duvall was able to get the better of Russell to take the victory. But Russell's second place finish is enough to wrap up the series championship with one race to spare. And he kept it pretty quiet, but Caleb has actually been dealing with some shoulder problems in the latter half of the year. So after wrapping the title, he's announced he is getting shoulder surgery and will not race today. And then Duvall suffered a wrist injury just a few days ago. He will not race today at Indiana. So the door is open for someone else to get the victory. So who will it be today? Maybe Lane Michael, Trevor Bollinger, one of the 250 riders from Row 2. We asked the contenders about their prospects.
I run different scenarios through my head all week long, especially once we realized Thad wasn't going to be here. And, you know, I'm a little upset about it. I'm trying a new bike this weekend, and I really wanted to see how I stacked up against those guys kind of leading into next year. You know, this was going to be my test day, and I was really interested to see how it would go. And, you know, it's kind of frustrating, but we don't want to win on those circumstances. We want to beat the best in the world, and to do it, you know, we've got to have them here.
I would like them being here as much as we want to beat them. It's more satisfying if I do win tomorrow that they were there and I beat them. But yeah, like you said, yeah, looking to go tomorrow and go for that win. You know, since Caleb and Thad are out, the door's really open, and I'm sure a lot of guys think they can win, and you just got to go out there and try to do it.
I know everybody's thinking I can win now, you know, because they've pretty much mopped everybody all year. So yeah, I'm kind of thinking the same thing. You know, I'm hoping I'm not a full-timer anymore in this stuff, so it's harder for me to just jump in and be on the lead pace, but I think I've been practicing and training, and you know, I'm still riding all the time, so I think I can still go fast.
Here's your race format. We race for 3 hours. We do as many 14-mile laps as possible, usually 6 or 7. 3 pro classes. The main focus will be XC1 Open because they have the biggest, fastest machines, and they generally win the races, although maybe today someone can Row 2 can move forward. Also, as you see Stu Baylor with the pink graphics, he has Halloween, he's got a costume on. The pink is because we're racing in October. It's breast cancer awareness. A lot happening here at the Ironman, but the most important part is the racing, and Ryan Sipes leads them into turn 1. Baylor going to make a big push around the outside. No, Sipes, who's only a part-timer in the series right now. He's raced motocross, he's raced flat track, he's raced pretty much everything this season, and he's still fast in the woods, whole shot, and getting away early over Josh Strang. And the Yamaha man, that would be Ricky Russell. Then Bollinger comes around in 4th. Lane Michael just came through. And the Baylor boys. Last time someone won a race in this championship that wasn't Duvall or Russell was Sipes last year. Here we go, XC2, the 250 class championship on the line. Ben Kelly and Josh Toth fighting for it and fighting for the lead. Toth, last year's champ, gets the whole shot. Ben Kelly, his buddy, but championship rival, right behind him. Kelly is trying to unseat Toth as this year's champion in the XC2 class on the 250s, and they've already hooked up in a battle up front. But on a day like today, I don't think they're just racing each other. They have the 1 minute time adjustment because they started 1 minute behind those riders on row one. If they can finish within a minute of them, they will actually be the overall winners today. And I guarantee you they are motivated to do that. Kelly finished third overall at our last race in Ohio. Yes, on a 250, he beat all but two riders on bigger bikes. And one more pro class, the FMF XC3 division, welcoming the 125s back in action. Jesse Ainsley has already wrapped up this year's championship. Look at that, 403, Daniel Mundell on a Sherco, going to grab the whole shot. And I paused to listen to the little 125s wind out. Well, today's the day. Someone else is going to get a victory for the first time this season in GNCC Racing. Who will it be? Stay with us.
The AMSOIL GNCC Series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you in part by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready, and by Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
Last night, right here at Ironman Raceway, Easton Corbin in concert has two #1 hit singles in the country music charts, and a huge crowd enjoyed that, all presented by Monster Energy. And on Sunday, we're back to race day, and it is wide open. Looks like Ricky Russell on the Ampro Yamaha to the lead. It's this is what they call the twin hill climbs, one of the big hill climbs on this track, and you can see the hustle with everyone behind him. With the opportunity to win today, Lane Michael at the back of that train. And we're waiting on our XC2 riders, Ben Kelly and Josh Toth, battling not too far back, but it's Ricky Russell looking for the W today. Trevor Bollinger right behind him. Bollinger has never won one of these. Ricky Russell won his first GNCC last year. Looks like Stu Baylor slotting into the #3 spot on the Thule Energy KTM. Russell not taking on too much heat from Bollinger yet. Actually, that is Strang up to third, and the Baylor brothers have been pushed back. They are now 5th and 6th. Back to our 250 class. Toth still leads the way, needs to win this race and hope for bad luck for Kelly, who's right behind him, to dig out this championship. And you can hear these 250 riders absolutely winding these machines out. It has been this all year, Toth versus Kelly. Toth, full factory FMF KTM rider. Kelly on the Trail Jesters KTM team, although the equipment is very similar between the two squads. Bollinger has now taken the lead from Russell, and it looks like Stu Baylor back to third. And you see this dirt here, this is what people love about Ironman, plenty of opportunities to make passes and great grip. If you want to try some different lines, you can. Working our way to the FMF PowerPoint. Set of logs set up. Fans know this is a cool spot to check out. Whoa! Russell almost throws it away. And into the famous cornfields. This is probably the fastest they will go in absolute top speed all year long through these sections. They set up enough of these chicanes to slow them down a bit, but you can see how spacious these cornfields are here in Indiana. They can really open up the motorcycles, get to the absolute top of the gearbox, hit 70, 80, 90 miles an hour in some of the areas, but boy, is it rough today. And that'll slow them down as well. Then back into the woods, we're watching Toth continuing to control it over the, whoa! Over the log and then over the falls, he goes down, and here's the opportunity Ben Kelly was looking for, and he gets by him. Mike Witowski on the factory Beta is also in contention in this class, and now Toth has got it caught in the vines. That's going to cost him dearly. Gets it back going, but he's going to have to work awfully hard to catch up to his buddy, Kelly, who's in front. And up front in the XC1 division, it looks like Baylor has taken it from Bollinger. Ricky Russell still there in third. And then it's Grant Baylor in contention as well. Also on the Teely Energy KTM team, the teammate of his older brother, Stu. Strang on the Rockstar Husqvarna coming through next. Then it's a big pack. That was Pasquale Rauschenecker, who was expected to battle for the XC2 title this year. Didn't work out, so he's jumped to the XC1 class this year, or this race. But he's been caught by Kelly and Toth. Into the pits we go. Baylor in the lead, getting new goggles, getting fuel, getting a drink, and then they use a fire extinguisher actually to clean the mud off of the radiators, keep the bike cool. Pit stop took too long. Trevor Bollinger on the Honda gets by. So Bollinger to the number 1 spot. Good pitting there by the Johnny Campbell Racing Factory Honda team. And there you see, he gets by, takes a look over at Stu. He's feeling it right now. Let's check out the women's class highlights from the Amsoil Ironman GNCC. Number 1 is Taylor Jones, the Australian, looking to win the title for the 2nd straight year. She was on fire on this day, got away from Becca Sheets and Rachel Gudish, and not only won her class, but 2nd overall against all the men.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's good to go out on top. I got the number 1 plate again, but to get the win here at Ironman, it's incredible. It was insane out there today. There's so many riders. All I did was pass people, and this one was definitely a lot harder. The girls stepped it up this year, which made for intense racing, but I feel better getting this one, making me work harder, and I'm happy with it, but hopefully next year we can back it up again, but it's going to be twice as hard then also.
And there is Taylor along with Sheets on the left and Gudish on the right. And congrats to Josh Lee of the sportsman class who won that 10 a.m. overall. That's a 2-hour race. It's 3 hours for the pros, starting at 1 o'clock here on Sunday afternoons. And it is a battle right now. It looks like Trevor Bollinger has reclaimed the lead from Stu Baylor. Ricky Russell right there in third. Again, Caleb Russell and Thad Duvall, who have won all the races this year, are both out today with injuries. So this is the opportunity, and we have 3 different riders on 3 different brands going for it. Stu Baylor has retaken the lead. That is a lap rider down, and you see the team people trying to get him out of the main race line. Smart riding here by Bollinger on the Honda in 2nd, and by Russell in 3rd. A very difficult rut to get through, but at least they avoid the down rider and can continue in pursuit of Baylor here. Baylor, can he get away now? He hasn't won since our season opener last year, 2017, in his native South Carolina. But he is 3rd in the points, so I suppose if you were going to pick a favorite today, with 1st and 2nd in the series out, he would be it. But watch out. Ben Kelly is coming. He has closed in on that 2nd and 3rd place battle. We're here with Josh Strang as well. So Kelly and Toth are making tracks toward the front of the XC1 division. Looks like Strang has gotten around Russell, so it is shaking up, and maybe there's an opportunity for these 250 riders, Kelly and Toth, to get up there and try to run for the overall. I thought I saw Kelly not too far behind Bollinger here, who is 2nd on the racetrack physically, but with adjusted time, yeah, there is Kelly on the 5:30. On adjusted time, he's actually ahead of Bollinger. He started 1 minute behind him, and he's gotten well within a minute now. So now the question is, can Kelly put in a run and get within 1 minute of this man, Stu Baylor? If he does, he will actually be the overall winner today. And it's going to be a game of pit boards. You see the board coming out. They've got to tell Stu Baylor, you're no longer racing Bollinger physically bar to bar. You've got to stay ahead of Ben Kelly. And I don't think that 1 minute gap is held up. Kelly goes by. Here's Bollinger. So I have it unofficially as Ben Kelly now leading this race overall. So can he get it done? It's been a banner season for the man from New England. Can he get an overall win on a 250 bike against the 350s and 450s?
The AMSOIL GNCC Series on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you in part by AMSOIL, the first in synthetics, Rocky Mountain ATV MC, get ready, and by Monster Energy, unleash the beast.
High drama here at the season finale of Grand National Cross Country. Here's Stu Baylor. He's got to pull away from the second place rider, Ben Kelly, to try to win this race. And he is going nuts to get the lap riders out of the way. You hear him yelling, go, go, go. Pulling the clutch in to rev the engine and warn everyone he's coming. Here is Kelly. He's second physically on the track, but he started on row 2 with a 1-minute deficit. If he can stay within 1 minute of Baylor here, he will be the overall winner. And it's gone back and forth. It's very close in that 1 minute gap. Kelly had the lead. Baylor's trying to re-stretch it. Oh, it's so tempting to rush it through those water crossings, but you will soak yourself. See the gigantic handguards that Stu is running today. Oh no, Ben Kelly in the pits! So just when it looked like he had the shot to win the overall, there's an apparent problem. They're working on the front wheel of that bike, and he is in no hurry. So that is a terrible break. And by the way, he's trying to wrap up the XC2 championship today. Okay, they've got it fixed. I'd have to suspect maybe a front brake problem. You cannot get flat tires out here. Everyone runs the foam tube insert, so you cannot get flats. I doubt he broke a rim. Meanwhile, taking advantage and leaving nothing out on the racetrack, I mean flying here within the view of the finish, is Stu Baylor, who's going to take his first victory since the start of the 2017 season. It'll be the second overall win of his career. On the Thiele Energy KTM, Stu Baylor is back on top in GNCC, and he celebrates with a loop out at the finish. And if anyone knows Stu, he's one of the wildest, craziest, most fun-loving riders out there, so that's no surprise. High five for the fans. He's pumped. He's back on top. Josh Strang going to take second. He's right back there in the red gear. There's Baylor's mechanic, Alan Gravitt. Let's talk to our winner.
Yeah, you know, it was good. Had a horrible start and then got through the pack. I think I got up to third, and Jordan Ashburn and I tangled in the woods and had a massive get off there the first lap, and I went back to last again. And on the first lap, I could see Toth in those woods were like 6 or 7 seconds behind me. So I was like, all right, it's time to kind of start moving. And then I got up to Grant, and he went down, and then I called up to Trevor, who was leading, and I yelled at him. I was like, boy, the XC2 guys are right there. So, you know, we got together, and I was riding good, you know, riding smooth. You know, obviously on the new 450, everything, my only testing on that bike was in the desert this week. So, you know, it was good. First time on that bike, I don't think you can beat it.
Yeah, Stu switching from a 350 to a 450 today. Toth ends up second overall when you look at the Rocky Mountain ATV MC results. Let's talk to him.
Yeah, today went pretty good. I had some, we started off good. I got a whole shot, I think my first ever. So it's about time, last race, XC2, so I could pull the whole shot. And then, yeah, me and Ben ran up front and charged again, just like last race, and just pushed 2 of the XC1s and just kept the pace going. And yeah, overall, it's just a really good day.
Good day for Josh Toth, but an even better season for his buddy, Ben Kelly, who has outdueled Toth for this year's XC2 championship. Had the scare with the front wheel. They got a quick change. He finishes, and with that, that's enough to wrap up the title. There's Toth actually to watch. Antti Kallinen on the right, the team manager for the factory KTM team. And the Trail Jesters squad. They're known for bringing young riders to the top, and they've done it again with the Connecticut native, Ben Kelly. Let's talk to him.
To wrap up the championship means so much. It was a crazy year, you know. Josh and I were just battling back and forth the whole year, so it wasn't easy at all. Had to really work for it, but yeah, just super pumped to have the championship, and yeah, it means so much. I had a really good race, you know. Josh and I got off to a good start and just pushed from the start. You know, we were both, you know, really pushing from the beginning, and yeah, he was leading for a while and went down, and I was able to get around and put a little gap in. And then, yeah, second to last lap, you know, it felt like my front tire was locking up a little, but it was probably just jammed up with all the mud. But I was nervous, so played it safe and pulled in and had the boys, you know, rush and do a quick tire change. But they did an awesome job, and yeah, I was able to finish second on the podium still and get the championship, so I'm super pumped.
Here's the AMSOIL race recap from today's event. Ryan Sipes, not a full-timer in this series anymore. He's kind of a jack of all trades, and one of those trades is getting hole shots. He nailed it today on his Husqvarna, but was unable to finish the race. Meanwhile, Stu Baylor crashed on lap 1, went all the way to the back, climbed his way all the way to the front of the results chart, battling it out with Ricky Russell and Trevor Bollinger. Here's Baylor taking on one of the many steep climbs on the Ironman track here in Indiana. And here's Bollinger in hot pursuit, but also in contention. Ben Kelly out of the XC2 division, here he is. On adjusted time, he was now ahead of Bollinger and starting to challenge Stu Baylor for the overall lead. And as they kept getting closer, the word got out that eventually Kelly was in the #1 overall spot on adjusted time, started on row 2, and made up the deficit that he started with until this. Front wheel was locking up, came in for a wheel change. That cost him any chance of winning either his class or the overall today, but he was still okay for the title, and that's truly what mattered to him. Back up front, Stu Baylor. He heard the footsteps that Kelly was coming. He was on the radar. And once Kelly stopped in the pits, there was no stopping Baylor from rolling to his first win of the season. But you can see he kept it pinned all the way down here to the end of the 3-hour race. When you're racing people on the clock from row 2, you never really know if your lead is safe. So good job by Stu showing some fitness here, push all the way to the end of the 3-hour mark. The big question was, with Thad Duvall and Caleb Russell out, who would take the overall win? The first non-Duvall or Russell winner of the season? No surprise, it's Stu Baylor. Maybe a little surprising is how he chose to celebrate it, flipping the bike at the finish. It has been a very competitive season in GNCC. Although Caleb Russell won his 6th straight title, we're seeing a lot of young talent begin to move forward. Of course, those XC2 riders, Kelly and Toth, getting a lot of attention. Don't count out on the left, the veteran Josh Strang still in contention. Mike Witowski there on the right, and XC2 had a good run today. But the star of the show, Stu Baylor, taking the win. We'll see you next year. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.